All right, awesome, awesome, good deal. Well, guys, it is Friday the 28th, so we've got FYR Fridays with Dave, and I'm glad that you guys are all hanging out with us today. Lots of good stuff going on. For those of you that are new or might be guests, a couple of things real quick. First of all, my name is Dave Conord, and I got to be the lucky one to kind of start this group here, inside of the EXP platform. But this is a community of leaders and partners, that are all focused in on utilizing the EXP platform to do big things, build great opportunity, and to provide opportunities for other people as well. So pretty awesome community of talent that we've amassed here as a group, and it's taken off. We're in 20 states and 4 countries, and growing really quickly. We've got some great groups coming on board. Lots of fun stuff. These Friday calls, we talk about agent attraction. We talk about utilizing the platform of EXP to use one of the lines of wealth that you can build at this company. So that's our main focus for this particular. We do lots of other things on the real estate side of selling houses and building your business and building teams and all of the other components of that, training on just about everything else under the sun. But on Fridays, we talk about building wealth and building a future together. So that's what our focus is on. We've had some of the top influencers from the entire company usually on here every Friday. We go through and do that. We've had people come on board that are making between $5 and $10 million a year from revenue share, and just sharing how they got there. And they've gotten there between 4 and 7 years. So that's a short amount of time to build an $8 to $10 million a year net income business. If you've built businesses, I don't know if anybody's ever hit that amount of income from their business, but to be able to do that in 4, 5, 6, 7 years is pretty phenomenal. But that's the opportunity. That's the platform that we're on here. And so, what we want to do is shortcut it as far as understanding the ways to do it. Other people have already done it, so we're not looking to reinvent the wheel. And I've been blessed with the opportunity to be building EXP for the last 5 years. So we went from under 10,000 agents to almost 90,000 agents during that time period. The company was worth $200 million when we started out, and as of today, it's trading at just shy of $4 billion as a business. So that's what we've got. That's the rocket ship that we're all on. That's the opportunity that we're looking at right now. And the coolest thing about this platform is that it provides the opportunity for us to get a piece of it as we help it grow. So that's a great thing. So today we're talking about really getting serious about taking the action steps. We've been hearing a lot from it, and all of these recordings are on YouTube, so you can go in and listen to what I go to the Fund Your Reason YouTube page, and you can go back and watch all of the other videos of the other growth leaders who have spoken about best practices and exactly what they do to get where they are. So I encourage you guys to go back and look at that. But here's the thing, what we don't want to become are professional students, right? I'm a lifelong learner. I want to be in the room where I am definitely not the smartest person in the room. And so I make sure that I'm finding myself in a room where I'm listening to really smart people all the time, because I want to get better. However, there is a tendency sometimes to have the smartest shelves in the world, right? We have all the information, we have all the books, we read the gurus, have all the stuff, and then we put it on the shelf. And man, there's a lot of wisdom on that shelf. But if we're not implementing it, doesn't do anything for us, right? So learning simply for learning's sake doesn't get us where we want to go. We want to learn for doing sake. And so how do we put it into action? How do we implement? So we have heard conversations, and I've talked with you guys about getting the conversations, right? How do we go talk to people? How do we prepare ourselves? What do we need to know about the opportunity here? Why are people interested in it? What are the things that maybe we're not taking advantage of, but someone else might be interested in? What are the tools and opportunities here for people? Why would people want to be in business with us? Why would they want to be here at EXP? What can we do for them? How do you start the conversation? How do you have the conversation? And then where do you go from there? How do you follow up? We've even provided access at a discounted rate to CRM through CRM Grow. So all of those components are now there at our disposal. So maybe, with a show of hands, how many people are getting the results at or above where they want to be? Okay, right. No hands are up, right? All right. And that's, I asked that question for a reason, because I knew that's where we are, right? Part of that is because we're not satisfied, right? We could always go bigger. We could always do more, even if you're getting good results. But I know the other side of it is that the defining factor is usually, are we doing all of the things we know that we should be doing? So I think I would say that we all have enough of the knowledge and information of what to do at this point to at least get results, right? We've gone beyond, what's that, unconscious incompetence, right? We've gone beyond that phase of having no idea what to do. We've got enough knowledge under our belts to go take action and get results, right? And then you keep learning and keep improving. But part of the path to mastery is doing, right? It's implementing, because then you implement and you learn way more by failing. And so I think a lot of us maybe have some fear of failure, fear of whether it's making a mistake, messing up, saying the wrong thing, looking stupid, whatever it is. But I can promise you that time on task over time and going out there and putting yourselves out there and messing up and get it, that's where you're going to learn the most. You go out and I don't know, let's take tennis. You go play tennis and you win easily. You walk off the court, you're feeling pretty good. Are you thinking about what you could have done better? Are you thinking about how to improve? Are you thinking about your game? Are you like convinced, man, I got to get back out there and train harder and do whatever? No, you're feeling good about yourself. You're like, my game's on point. I just crushed that person. And, I got the skills. This is, I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. Right. I'm going to maintain, I'm going to stay here. Right. But if you come off, if you got your rear end handed to you during the match, right, and you notice like, man, I just kept serving it into the net, or I kept the X, Y, and Z, or I couldn't hit. When they hit it like this, I couldn't return it. Or I found that, I was running around too much, right, and they were controlling the game, and I need to get better at that, whatever it is, right? Then you're gonna, or maybe just your fitness wasn't there. I was exhausted, and so I need to get in better shape. Whatever that is, maybe you realize you don't like your racket or your shoes or who knows, but you're going to go make changes. You're going to go make changes in your equipment. You're going to go make changes in your fitness. You're going to go make changes in your training regimen, and you're going to improve. But you wouldn't know that unless you went out there and got beat, right? And so it's okay. Like if you go and expect to win, I love the mindset of like, we used to always teach this. When you go to a listing appointment, you always like tell yourself, you're sitting there and right before you knock on the door, you say, the listing is mine if I want it. Right? That's the mindset you want. This is my listing. I own this listing. This is mine. If I want it, I may decide I don't want it. The only way this listing isn't mine is if I decide not to take the listing. Right. But that's the mindset you want to go in with, and that's the expectation you want. But the reality is you're still not going to win every listing, even with the right mindset. Okay. But you'll win a lot fewer if you don't go in with that mindset, right? That's why I say, like, champions they come across a little bit cocky, right? Because they expect to win. They expect to win. You have to have that cockiness to win. But at the end, you also have the humility where if you don't win, you win with grace and you figure out how to do better, right? And so it's the same thing what we're doing here is when you're having conversations, expect that they're going to want to join, expect that they want to be in business with you, expect that they want to be at EXP, expect that they want what the FYR Group has to offer, and go in with that mindset and confidence to say, hey, we can help you. No matter what your goal is, no matter how successful you already are, right? We can help you do better. We can help improve your life. We can give you better quality of life, higher level of income, access to new tools and support and other things that you don't have right now. We can do all of those things for you. So I'm going to go in there saying, this is the best place for their business. I just need to find out why. I need to find out what we can do for them to help them succeed and thrive at it and get to the next level, get where they want to go, hit their personal goals, hit their professional goals. But we have all the stuff they want. The bottom line is not everyone's going to say yes still, right? But we do have the stuff for people to help them get where they want to go. So go into the conversation with that mindset, but also understand that you're going to have no's. You're going to have plenty of no's, and that's okay. It may be a not now, or it may just not be a fit for whatever reason. And that's totally fine. But you can figure out as you go through the conversation, you know what? They were asking about this, and I kind of fumbled on that. I didn't know anything about that. I didn't, and you don't have to know all the answers. You just have to know where to get, like, oh, you know what I should have done there? I should have said, oh man, those are really great questions. I'll tell you what, I know we've got stuff on that here at EXP, but I don't really use it for myself. It's not the way my business is set up, but I've got someone who knows all about that. I'd love to connect you with them and they can answer all your questions. Right? There are things to do. Frank, go buddy.
Yeah. So just piling on what you're saying on mindset, I think a lot of what you're talking about is, getting going, who's got the results, who's where they want to be right now. Have you hit your numbers? And one of the things I was talking to the builder group about is your intentions when you wake up. So I think a big part of it is, as you talk about mindset, how about winning the day? So when you get up in the morning, are you thinking about winning that day? Are your intentions in your mind clear so that you win that day? Or are you waking up and you're kind of reacting to the day, to where the day wins you? So the kind of things that you're talking about, I believe, is, what's your intention when you wake up in the morning? If we're not where we want to be, and none of us are, nobody raised their hand, then the answer is our intentions aren't focused enough, I feel. So what I've started doing now to help myself is I started breaking my day down into 4 6-hour days. So I'm trying to accomplish 4 days in one day, if that makes sense. So if the 6 hours, if the first 6 hours are going to be about attraction, then I'm going to go hard for those 6 hours and not let anything else get in the way. If the next 6 hours are going to be for production, then I'm going to go hard for those 6 hours. The next 6 hours are going to be family, friends, dinner, all that. Then I'm going to go far. I'm going to go hard on that. And then the last, obviously, is you got to sleep at some point. So I never trusted people who say, "Oh, I never sleep. I sleep a half-hour a day." It's impossible. We'd be dead. But doing that, and then, because I think, Dave, what you're talking about is, maybe we don't hit it right all the time. But if you did that 1 6-hour frame and you accomplished what you set out to do with your intentions were, then celebrate that win. Whether you got somebody that day or you didn't, but at least you did something. It's a lot better than looking back and saying, shit, I didn't even try. I didn't even get in the game. You're talking about playing tennis. I didn't even get on a court. I packed everything and put it in my car, but I never got on the court. Yeah. So if you go there and you lose, so what? Celebrate the fact that you got there and you lost. Learn from it and then go move on to the next one. So that's kind of the mindset I've been changing and I've been working on, and it's been effective for me. You and I are working on a lot of stuff, and a lot of that's come from mindset. It's come from, let's get something done, man. Yeah. Let's stop talking about it. Let's start being about it. So it's changed my whole approach on things. And it's working for me. That's how I share.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that way of slicing it up. And then, I'm a big fan of time blocking. So if you ever see my calendar, it's all color coded and all that kind of stuff like that. And I'm not a detail person, right? If you know my disc, I'm a 99D, 99I. I have no S or C. So I don't, I'm not a detail person. I'm not a systems person by nature, but I have learned the power of leveraging those systems and stuff like that so I can run faster, because that's what I like to do, is run fast. And if you run into enough brick walls, you say, hey, every time I hit a brick wall, I gotta, pick myself back up, dust myself off, and then start running again. Man, if I just took a little bit of time on the front end and figured out the path a little bit better, I'll hit fewer brick walls and I won't have to stop as much. And I'm going to keep running fast. So a friend of mine told me one time, he said, you can spend the time on the front end or you can spend the time on the back end, but either way, you're going to spend the time. And front end time is way better than back end time. Front end time is planning and strategic. Back end time is messy and figuring out what the hell went wrong and then trying to start over again, right? So front end time. What I would what I would encourage you guys to do, if you're serious about building wealth, right? Everybody wants to be wealthy. So it's not about whether you want it. Do you want that opportunity? What's the life you want to create, and how far into the future do you want it? Right? That's the other question, because you can do a slow burn. You can say, hey, I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't have this much extra time, or I don't have whatever, and I don't need it right now. And that's fine. That's great. Like, it's your life. It's your plan. You want to build it the way you want, but you still, like, what a lot of people do is that they delay it because I don't need it right now. Then I'm going to delay. I'm going to delay. And then, like, oh man, now I need it. Right. And now they're trying to take action to go get it. And it's like, well, that's not how it works. Right. And so you have to build it and build it and build it. So if slow and steady is your pace, that's great, but that doesn't mean put it on the, that it's the least priority. And so every week it just falls off and like, I didn't really get anything done on it. Like, for me, I mean, I had 7 appointments this week, right? So, I talked to 7 different people about being part of being, part of our group and being an EXP. Yeah, and then I had a bunch of follow-ups and I had a bunch of meetings on other components that we're doing to support our group to enhance growth and to build wealth. Right. So it's a focus on it. So I don't know how many total meetings I had this week. I can count them on my time block calendar, but it's out there and it's structured for the different stuff that we have going on. So that's where, where it comes down to. If you guys want it fast, if you want to build that soon, then you've got to crank up the activity that gets those results. Right. So, we all know the concept of dollar productive activities, right? I mean, I used to call them IPAs, income producing activities, right? Not the beer. That's good too, though. All right. So the income producing activities, if you look at your calendar and say, how many busy activities do I have, the necessary 80% that doesn't make me money, right? But keeps things moving. And how much of my 20%, the IPAs, do I have on my calendar? How many things do I have on there? Like, if you're, the follow-up stuff that I'm doing is important. The extra meetings that I do around it are important. The planning for our meetings and our calls and our Zooms are important. The putting stuff on our YouTube page, it's all important. That keeps the beast going, right? But that doesn't bring in new business, new income, new opportunity. It's the calling the people, having the meeting, right? And understanding what they need and then providing an opportunity for them to be in business with us, an invitation for them to be in business with us. That's the stuff that makes money. That's the stuff that builds the business bigger. And the more of that you do, the faster it grows, right? And so the sooner you want to get to a certain point in your income and your opportunity and all that kind of stuff, we have some people who say, hey, I'd love to get out of production. All right. I've loved selling houses. This is awesome. But I would love to have been doing this for a while. And I really love the growth and leadership portion. I love the freedom of not being attached to, the transactions going on and that kind of stuff like that. So, okay, great. But they spend, if you look at their calendar and if your calendar doesn't back up what you're saying, then you're just fooling yourself. Right? If the actions and activities you're putting on your calendar don't match the statements you're making about the life that you want, then, everybody else can see it. I don't, if anybody has had young kids or, has nieces and nephews and that kind of stuff like that. Right. I mean, they love peekaboo. They do this and they think you can't see them anymore. Right. They go behind a tree that's this big and they're like, I'm hiding. You can't see me. Right. It's like, we can all see you. Right. Well, the people that say, I want this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to whatever, and then everyone sees their activities and what they're doing, like, you're not fooling the rest of the world. You're only fooling yourself. Right. If you're believing that that's what you want, everyone else can look at it and go, what, so you're telling me that you would like to step back from production and have a more leveraged life because you're running crazy. You're not seeing your kids. You're not seeing your family. You're not having fun. You're not going out with your friends. You're not traveling. You're not all the other stuff you want to be doing in life because you're tied to this. And you want freedom, and yet you're not taking any actions to create that freedom. So, why isn't it congruent? Chip, go, buddy.
Hey, David, I just thought of something, and being the senior statesman here, I don't know, Rick and Frank look like they might be north of 50. I don't know, maybe Grady too, but me being north of 60 and being 27 years in the industry and knowing you for 20 of those years. I wish this business model existed 20 years ago when you and I first met.
Amen.
Right. I mean, now we warmed up a little bit at KW, of course, right? And that was a better business model than we knew before. But this business model, which I'm very used to because I make a lot of money in my other business, right? I've got 40,000 people in an organization globally. If I could leverage that, which I'm doing now, into real estate, because you have 40,000 people in your sales organization, you're going to have realtors in there somewhere. And I do. And so what's interesting, though, is there's no exit strategy in real estate, folks. That's the biggest problem, right? And that's what Dave's really talking about. And you can stay in production all the time, but my mother was a great realtor. Dave knows that.
Yeah.
Very well respected. But even before she died on her deathbed, that was 3 years. She died from ALS. She was working up until the last day, not because she had to. She actually really loved production, right? She loved working with, and Dave knows, man, we do a $25,000 sale. We do a $2.5 million sale, right? Same month. And obviously, you know, which deal was harder? The $25,000 deal is always harder, right? Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we just ran pillar to post. But along the way, you know, stuff happens and you get north of 50 years old. You have a bunionectomy, you have back surgery, you can't do stuff. I mean, you're going to be knocked out of the game, even for whether it's a month or 3 months. You can't even get in the car if you don't have a partner. So the thing I like about our platform now is that, and especially right now, you can hone the skills, because let's face it, it's tough to be a listing agent right now, right? I mean, there's just not enough inventory. There's a million realtors out there, and there's not even a million houses being sold right now, right? You know, buyers, it's hard to get buyers qualified. So you can sit back, hone your skills, and learn that, and invite other people to this platform. And I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, God forbid, you know, you want to take your foot off. I think we're entrepreneurs at the end of the day, right? We're not going to probably ever retire, right? I mean, realtors just expire, almost like our listings. That's kind of cliche, but you know, not that listings expire anymore. But it does give you that capability of being able to take your foot off the gas pedal. I don't think I'll ever retire, right? Because I just like working. I like working with motivated, like-minded people. But I love the platform, and I think that what Dave is talking about is spot on. And I know all of you do with Preaching to the Choir, because we're here, right? But it's just a story to tell. It's a conversation to have. New agents. Isan's not a new agent, but you know, he's new to this platform probably, and it's a better platform. So why wouldn't we tell people so they can maybe not live through the pain that we've lived through in the last, 10, 15, 20 plus years. So anyway.
Yeah, we say, make our ceiling your floor, right? We've already gone through a lot of the blood, sweat, and tears, and like, you don't have to figure it out. It's been figured out, and there's more to figure out ahead, but the stuff behind us has already been figured out. So don't, the people that want to get in going, no, I want to learn it for myself. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Right. Yeah. It's already been learned. Right.
Right. Well, we get to leverage your experience too. And you've got a ton of experience, David. I mean, from running, all the offices that you've run through your career. So we get to leverage you. You go to work for us. Right.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's the whole purpose behind this, right? Is to be like, hey, we know how to do it. We've been there. We've done it. We got the T-shirt and the stripes on our back, and we're ready to go help other people start from here and go do it. So, it really, what it comes down to conversations, right? I mean, Chip, you've built a huge organization, and you've been doing that for a really long time, and you've been very successful with that. And you have a bunch of people that trust you, know, like, and trust you, and you've led them into opportunities over the years where they've been able to make a lot of money and have a lot of success. And follow you through those things, that you've been able to identify, hey guys, here's the next opportunity, and they all go there, oh great, boom, let's go do it, and then we go build success together. And so I love the fact that you're going to tap into that, because you do have a ton of realtors in there. And so now for you like, that's your platform. You've got an incredible platform based on what you've built. Everybody in here's got a platform though. Everybody in here has relationships and experience and history and all that kind of stuff. In or out of real estate, it doesn't matter. I know as Rick and I get to know each other better over the last couple of years through lacrosse and through through real estate and through everything else, drinking Bloody Marys together, and that kind of stuff, and seeing the relationships that he has and what he's built over time in his community, and through like the work that he's done in the past, where he had, an incredible career, and through his church relationships and all that kind of stuff. Where are the places where you've made deposits where now you've got a chance to make withdrawals? And it's not about asking people for things. It's about the withdrawal you're making is on relationship capital. So it's not asking them for a favor, right? What you're doing is saying, I have an opportunity for you. So it's the mindset is not like, oh, well, I've done all these things, so hopefully now they'll do something for me. we're not, don't approach this as asking like, hey, would you come over to EXP with me? Would you come be like, do whatever? Like, you're not asking anyone for anything. And so you just have to remember, right? And it's the same thing if you go to work with your buyer or your seller. You're not asking them, would you please give me your listing? What you're saying is, I am the best person to help you achieve your goals in this real estate transaction or in your business building or in anything else like that. I have something to offer you. You know that I have added value in your life in these areas because of my qualities of this and the mission that I'm on and the stuff that I do and the experience that I have. You know that I've helped you. You know, we have a relationship because of, even if we're just friends, you know, even if we haven't worked together professionally, we're friends because of these qualities. And so I bring that quality to this, and I've got an opportunity to help you, or utilize that quality to trust me to help you in this area, because I can put you in a situation to help you succeed and to achieve the life that you want to achieve. I'm offering you something. I'm not asking you for something. And it's got to be an offer and not an ask. And that's got to be the mindset. Hey, I'm offering huge opportunity, right? And so I'm looking for people who want opportunity. That's it. You got to find the motivated. You got to look for people who want opportunity, and you just go, hey, I have a lot of opportunity. I have this incredible platform that is helping people like no platform has ever helped people before achieve massive levels of success and achieve the levels of freedom that they want in their life, achieve the business that they want to achieve. If you're interested, if you are thinking that maybe there's the possibility of more, right? It doesn't mean you're in pain. It doesn't mean you're unhappy. It doesn't mean you're unsuccessful. But if you'd like to go, successful people, what they typically want are just a few things. One is they want a catalyst. They want an accelerant. I'm successful. I would like to be more successful faster from here forward, right? So that they want to go faster. That's great. I don't know too many very driven, successful people who don't want to go faster, right? Who don't want to go do more. The other thing they want is leverage, because a lot of times when you build something successful, you got the tiger by the tail, and now you're swamped. Your calendar is crazy, and you don't know how to control it. You don't know how to leverage and get to the point where, hey, this is awesome. I love the money and everything else it does, but I would love the freedom that comes with that. How do I build freedom through leverage on this, right? And so, and sometimes they want duplication, and then sometimes they want. I think it was the former CEO of Coca-Cola who said, the first half of my life was about success. The second half of my life is about significance, right? How am I giving back? How am I helping others? How am I lifting others up? How am I creating opportunity for other people? How am I making my life meaningful? I ran really hard. I built a big business. I made a lot of money. Now I'm putting some meaning into all of that. Say, hey, what do I do? And that's what I love about this opportunity is I've been able to build a big business and make a lot of money, but that in and of itself is empty if you're not doing something with it, right? So what do you do with the knowledge that you've gained? What do you do with the funds that you've gained? How do you go build a platform that helps other people go build great lives? And how do you utilize gifts that God gave you to go do more? So that's the opportunity. So what I want to encourage you guys today, and this is a little different call than we do a lot of times on Fridays, but what I'm hoping, this is a fired up Friday, right? What I'm hoping is what needs to happen right now for you guys to get where you want. You need to do one thing first. You need to decide that you really want it. Okay. Because it's one of those, again, if you sat in a room with 1,000 people and you said, hey, how many people want $1 million to come in every year? Right? Every hand is going to go up. I mean, how many people are like, I don't know, it's just too much. Right? Every hand goes up. Boom, we all want it. Some people might go, yeah, or 2 or 3 or whatever. Great. All right, that's fine. Awesome. Good. So this is what it's going to go take. How many people are going to start if you do these things, you can have that. How many of them walk out of the room and start doing those things? 10. So that's what we're looking at. So here's the thing. You have to decide that you really want it. You have to decide that you deserve it. Right. And you do. And then you have to put the action steps in place. Great. Okay. So it's one step at a time. It starts to snowball. It starts to grow. You got to start with one. Good. I'm going to have a conversation. Have a conversation. Know that you have something great to offer. Know that you have an incredible team behind you. So you go, hey, I'm going to have a conversation. I'm going to say, hey, listen, this is the most incredible thing. And, you deserve to hear about this. I want to share it with you. right? And then just know if you ever get to a spot where the conversation gets more technical than what you're prepared for right now, then just go, man, there's a great question. I'm going to write down a couple of these things. Tell you what, not something that I utilize, or, like, this is, I'm just excited about our platform. This is how I use it, but let me get someone who can answer those questions for you. Then you get one of us on the phone, right? And that third party endorsement is always more powerful anyway. That person is going to edify you. They're going to talk about, the opportunity, and they're going to answer that person's questions. So that's fine. You don't have to worry about knowing all the answers, but you got to start having the conversations. So it comes down to the number, the same thing. Hey, you want to sell 100 houses this year? Great. How many conversations do you need to have to sell 100 houses? Right? You better know that ratio for your own business. How many houses you want to sell? Good. Well, the better you get, and the as the market shifts and everything else, that number may change. But the reality of the situation is, right now in today's market, with your skills and your relationships and your everything else, how many conversations do you need to have to sell the number of houses you want? Well, the same thing here. How many people would you like to introduce into EXP and have them be part of the organization with you in here? Great. So how many people do you need to talk to? Because you're not going to get 100%. Right. And if you know that, then you go, cool. I just talked to 3 people and they all said no, but I've determined that I need to talk to 5 people to get 1. So one of the next 2 people I talk to, now it may not always be every five, but the average, the law of averages, right? If you go, hey, for every 5 I get 1, then cool. If I talk to 10, I should have 2, right? So if I talk to 20, I should have 4, whatever. So, I go through and do the, do the math on this and go, well, cool. That's how many I want to have. So here's how many conversations. Where do I go have those conversations? Now start having conversation number 1, right? Get conversation number 1 under your belt, get it done, and then move on to conversation number 2. Don't kill yourself and have a little drip campaign. That's why we use CRM Grow. They say, when they say no, it's typically a not now, or maybe they just do say not now. You go, awesome. Is it okay if I keep in touch with you? Yeah, great, good. Put them on a drip campaign so that they've got little things once in a while when something cool is happening. Send them, hey, I just want to see if you saw this, see if you're interested. There's a class coming up, there's a whatever. Boom, they're dripping on them for when they're ready. Right? David, when's the first time I talked to you about EXP? So he's muted. I don't know if he can come off mute. It was a long time ago. It was probably 5 years ago when I came over. Right? So, right. Well, guess what? He filled out his application 5 years later. So that's all right. It was a not. It
Yeah,
was,
go Dave. Sorry about that.
There you are. So yeah,
I'm on my cell phone. It's really hard to
Zoom
slide
stuff
up and down to make it work. But yeah, no, definitely about 5 years ago. You came in town. I think you had a meeting at Expectations one time, and yeah, definitely. And now we came over. Definitely see the opportunity of the growth. Kind of like Chip, what Chip said earlier, just having a background of other companies where you're growing people, and you can see the growth and the exponential growth. And I think, to your point, it's just finding like you said, just the campaign to kind of move your business forward, and just following the structure and the path of everything.
Yep. Just have the conversation. Same with everything else. You got to get out there and have the conversations. So that's what I want to leave you guys with today is make some of those decisions. Plant the flag, and draw the line in the sand, whatever analogy you want to use, but just decide this is the time to go start working towards it and go do it. Because it's, if a house isn't selling, let me ask you guys this. If you have a seller and the house has been on the market longer than it should, longer than the average days on market, it's not moving and you're not getting offers on it, what's the problem?
Price too high.
Price is too high. 100 times out of 100, right?
Price right, it will sell.
You got it. It's always price. And they're like, well, what if we did the carpet? What if we did the whatever? Tell you, it is always the price. It is the price based on the, they go, well, what about this and what about that? And, houses over here. Well, it's, you have price and you have condition and you have location. You can change condition. Can't really change location unless it's a mobile home. Right. So you've got price and condition. Well, I mean, yeah, you can gussy it up. You can do X, Y, and Z. You can replace the carpet. You can paint. You can do whatever to hopefully get it to the point where the price makes sense. But the bottom line is the buyers are looking at it and saying it's not worth what you're asking. Location, condition, that kind of stuff like that. It's always price, right? And so you got to move the price. And so, you know, for people joining, it's always about number of conversations that you're having, right? You have to have the conversations. So if it's like, oh, I talked to someone and they didn't join, it's like someone, like one someone. So, you know, we're not going to get there talking to one person. So the opportunity is to go out there and to decide that this is a part of your business that you are going to build. And if you're going to get serious about your business, you're not going to open up a restaurant and hope that you have one customer come in every night and have dinner. Right? You got to fill all the seats at all the tables. So where are those people coming from? Where are those people coming from? You can have the best restaurant in town, the best chef in town, the most beautiful decor, the best ambiance, the best staff, most highly trained, best menu, all that kind of stuff. But if you don't have people coming in to eat, you're going to be the best restaurant to go out of business. So if you want this to be your business, the hard part about this is you haven't put out a ton of money to open a restaurant and hire all staff that you got to feed. So we can make excuses because we don't have the tyranny of the urgent, right? Unless you create it in your mind and say, this has to happen. How would my life be different if I build the successful arm of my business and then realize you don't have that right now? How bad do you want that? Now, what do you got to do to go build it? So that's where we are, guys. That's the opportunity that's here. I want it for you guys really, really bad. I see it. I'm experiencing it myself. I'm watching others that experience it. So I want you guys to experience. I know that you want it, and I know that you're capable of achieving it. So we want to create that platform. We want to help you. We are here to help you with the conversations and to guide you through it and do everything else. And we're creating an incredible community that adds value to these agents above and beyond what EXP offers and above and beyond what you personally can offer them. They also get all of us. They get this whole community and all the services and other things that we've got. So it's a really great thing that you can invite people to be a part of. You just got to be really good at inviting. So that's the next piece. All right. So let's get it done.
Amen.
All right.
Thanks.
You ready? All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you. Isan, thanks again for joining us, brother. Glad you could be here to hang out with us.
Like to connect
Thanks, I
you and
appreciate it.
Isan on a private Zoom sometime when you get a chance. I'll schedule that.
Absolutely. Yeah, be happy to.
Okay.
Happy to for sure.
Okay, great.
All right,
Isan,
David, glad you're here, guys. So good to see you, Krista, Grady, Rick.
Have a good day.
Have a great weekend.
great week.
Thanks, Dave.